All right.
Okay, hi my friends and welcome to this video. It's me and RJTV. We're going to go through the text guides for the St. Patrick's Day tournament. Like we did the last time, it worked really well, and I was very pleased to see all the comments and all the positive feedback. And before we start, please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be a subscriber, and also if you do have any type of question, please make a comment in the comment section below. We are here to help, so don't hesitate to do that. So before we start as well, I want to say that as you can see here on the screen, you will see some of the courses be dark. Which is because we have been playing these ones in the Haunted Hills tournament like a couple of months back, and the layout hasn't changed since then. The only thing that you will need to have in mind is of course that the lights will be on, and or like the sun will be shining, as we so nicely can describe it when we play it now with the start tomorrow. So we will start here with hole number 1, par 4, short one. RJ, what's your thoughts?
Well, first I'd like to say thank goodness we're not going to be playing in the dark again. Man, I remember that old Haunted Hills tournament.
True.
Sorry, right off the bat, looking at this first hole, I love where you have your first box, right where the sand trap is. I like to aim right before the sand trap, putting a little bit of curl, a little bit of side spin if you're using a marlin ball for us rookies out there, and land right about where that second box is for the possibility of an easy chip in.
Yes, and if you play from the second tee or the third tee, Pro, Expert or Masters, you will most likely be playing like the black line says. If you get tailwind, you can play on the left side. Try to bounce on the small fairway there, going directly onto the green. It is possible. I've made it a couple of times, but you need to have tailwind. With whatever else wind you got, then you go in the way to the right. So okay, I should stop saying like so. It seems like we are like waiting for something that way, but we are waiting for hole number 2. How do we play this one?
Well, for hole number 2, I like to go with an accurate club because I think a lot of people are going to get really close to this hole and possibly even ace it. I like to aim right below that sand trap where your first, or I'm sorry, it would be the third yellow line, the lowest box is. I like to go with about, I believe it's 1 bar of backspin maybe, and just let that ball roll right up to the hole after adjusting for wind.
Couldn't agree with you more. Definitely a hole-in-one hole, for me at least. I hope I will be able to ace it. There are 3 lines, and like the 2 ones to the right is the ones to play as well when it comes to Pro, Expert or Masters. I would say like bouncing between the bunkers is the most common way to play it from second or from third tee. You use with the tailwind, you use 3 bars of a backspin. You can use 4 bars as well, but 3 to 4. If you're having headwind, you use 2 to 2.5 bars of backspin. This is a hole where you need to think about the elevation, which means that the ball will be affected more by the wind than normal. So have that in mind. Adjust around like 5 to 10% more than you normally do, and get that hole in one and win the tournament. So hole hole 3, par 5. I say tough hole. Do you agree?
Oh, very, very tough. It's eagleable, but don't count on an eagle. Don't go over aggressive on this hole. For us rookies, we need to land right where Tommy has that yellow box there, and be very careful not to put too much topspin on if you have some wind at your back, as you could possibly roll right off the course. And then it's pretty much straightforward. I would use my big dog or whatever long club that you have and trust to approach the hole, possibly bounce right onto the putting greens if you have very favorable winds, or you could play it safe and play for the birdie, which I think most people are going to get a birdie on this hole. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think so as well. It is a tough one, and the wind do decide a lot. If we get tailwind, it's definitely a possibility to make an eagle, especially if you're playing from the second tee like Pro, Expert or Master, because you will have some wind to work with. It is harder to play this one if you're playing from the first tee or playing this in the rookie division. You normally don't have the clubs upgraded and you don't have the wind for it. I remember this one from the Haunted Hills. I actually eagled it there because we did have tailwind on this one. and that was lucky enough because I used the big dog, a maxed out big dog, and it was really, really tough to reach the green into. You can bounce it over, yes, but in the end, the wind do decide. If we do get tailwind, you can reach and make an eagle. If we aren't having tailwind, or you are not feeling comfortable of going all in with your drive to risk going out of bounds, play it safe, take the birdie, because most of the people will make a birdie here. So, hole number 4, we take another par 3, another dark one, but yeah, it will be lighted up. But how do we play this one?
Well, I really like the way that you have the boxes set up here. I would go with the first box, and I actually find that 1 bar of backspin generally does it perfectly for me. When I aim this shot, though, I like to aim it just a tad bit closer to the left side of the rough where it turns into an hourglass on the putting green, and I find that way gives me the best chance to ace this hole.
Interesting, absolutely a great way to play it. I like to play it sometimes directly into the rough if I take the second box there, using 2 bars of topspin in general to get that ball to roll down to the green. I think going into the rough, using the rough, makes it good because you do take away the obstacles of the bunker that you do have on the left, on the right, and especially with the bounce that you will have from bouncing from the first fairway onto the green. So, but this is a hole where you will be relying on the ball rolling a long way to the pin. But again, it's definitely a possibility to make a hole in one. I just hope that we're not having like this really hard side wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, side wind on par 3s, that is not fun. But as if we are thinking about how the tournaments have been the last couple of times, we have been having headwind slash side wind for the par 3s. So most likely we'll get that this time as well. Hole number 5, par 4. I'm really interested to hear how you are playing this one.
You know, I'm actually playing a very conservative way. As we could see on the screen here, we could see Tommy's first box. I'd like you to go about a third of the way down, and you'll see the fairway where it juts out just below the lake. I like landing right there with some backspin to ensure that you don't end up in the rough, and then that gives me a clear shot to the hole with a wood. Hopefully we could use an accurate wood there, and there is the potential for a chip in, but more importantly, a very easy putt.
Yeah, correct. This hole can be tougher than it looks, and it can also be easier than it looks. So many ways, and the drive do decides a lot. I do like to go with a lot of backspin. I do see absolutely the point of going conservative in this particular on this particular hole, because you take away the obstacle and give yourself an open way to go for the green. The more aggressive way that I go is that I go on top, as close to the rough on top as possible, using my thorn or the Saturn with a lot of backspin. Either I go for the dunk depending on the wind, or I try to just go just like on the green to let me use the backspin to make the ball fall back to the pin. The risky way for that one is if you are a little bit too short, you can bounce yourself down into the water, which is not something that you do want. If you do have tailwind on this one, or like tail slash sidewind to the left, you can actually reach this green in one. And that is an interesting way to see. It's hard to like describe how to play that one, but that is absolutely possible. Hole number 6, par 5 again. So we have the second par 5 here. How can we play this one?
You know, generally with this hole, I like to shoot straight up where that black box is. And then on my second shot, I like to put full curl to the right. So use a club that has a lot of curl. And I generally go full top spin and end up right around where your second box is after bouncing it, where the, what would that be, the third round patch of fairway there. And then, you know, that sets me up for my third shot, which is where the third box is where you end up landing. Possible chip in, more likely to get a putt. Either way, nice finish.
Yeah, a birdie hole. I would be hard to say boring hole, but it all comes down again to the wind. If we do get tailwind, it's possible to make the green in two. Otherwise, this is a par 5 that you should see as a birdie hole. If with tailwind, you do want to bounce over the bunker, go to the second fairway patch, or possibly to the third, depending on what type of tailwind that you do have. If you reach over to the second fairway patch and stay there, you will be able, with a trick shot, to reach for the green in two. Again, you can hear me describing this one really hard, and it is really hard. So this one is definitely a birdie hole. Don't make a par, please. I did that in the tournament because I tried to be too aggressive with the wind that we had there. You can go to the right side as well, use the small fairway patch on the right and go directly onto the pin. Most likely we'll have a long iron for the pin for the eagle, but sure, if you do get tailwind, I would consider, like, try it. I would say try it actually, if you want to play a little bit more aggressive. So, okay then, we have hole, oh, there is no number on this one, but it's hole number 7, at least. Par 3, how do we play this one?
Well, you're going to see a theme here with me. I like jumping over the obstacles. Does it make it a little harder? Possibly, but I've had good luck with it. Same goes here. I like Tommy's first square right there below the little pond there, and then hopping right on over. Adjust your spin accordingly, whether, I believe that on this one you might need just a tad bit of top spin, but please correct me if I'm mistaken. You want to make sure that your first bounce is not in the rough on the other side of the pond, and you should be able to roll right up close to that pin.
Yeah, you're definitely right with that one. With the spin, it is hard to describe the exact amount of spin, but it's all the way from 1 bar of backspin to all the way to like 1 bar, 1.5 bar of topspin. It comes down to what type of wind we got. If we're playing on the first from the front tee, which you're not having that much wind in general, you should most likely go with 1 bar of topspin. If you're playing with sidewind or possibly a little bit of tailwind, I consider use 1/2 bar of backspin instead, like, because the ball will be bouncing differently depending on the wind that we do have, because it will hit the ground in a different way. You can see on the yellow line, the complete yellow line on the right side, that is only for people that do have a maxed out rocket, use like all the backspin to make it easy on the green. But as RJ say, don't hit the rough just after the water, because then you will leave yourself with a long putt and possibly a overpower putt, and those ones are not easy to hit. So hole number 8, short par 4. Can we go for green on this one?
As a rookie, I would not recommend it unless your name is Golf Clash Tommy. What I like to do here, actually, normally you see me following the really conservative way, but I take the white line on this one. It may look intimidating because you got to jump the water, but you should be able to put your club right next to the rough, adjusting for wind, of course. I put full top spin on, and the ball usually ends up right where that black square is, giving you a possibility of a chip in, and that's all we're really looking for is possibilities. If you don't get it, it's fine, because you're on the putting green with a nice, close, easy putt.
Definitely. That is like both of the ways are really good in that way. It's the only way to go to the green in one here. Again, it's tailwind. I remember playing from the 3rd tee in the Haunted Hills tournament. We did have the tailwind, and we could go full overpower and just cross our fingers and see if we landed onto the green. And that will be possible from the 2nd tee or the 3rd tee, like Pro Expert or Masters, if we get the wind for it using a Berserker ball or Snow Globe ball. Otherwise, play yourself safely up front. Try to get that eagle. And again, it's all about possibilities. I kind of use your phrases here, RJ, but it is all about the possibilities, and this is a one where you don't want to end up in the rough. go on the fairway and use your short iron for the pin.
De- Definitely not. I'm sorry. I just wanted to add
Yeah.
one thing, guys. If you do take the way that I recommended, please, please be careful of this sand trap. I see a lot of people end up in that sand trap after the hop. So you spin or curl or whatever you have to do to stay away from the sand trap on the green where the first black box is over there on the right-hand side.
Yeah, nice addition there. So we do have one more hole to go. It's hole number 9. Uh, and how do we play this one?
Tommy, it's not showing. I'm sorry, I had to load it. Can we
Yeah.
cut that out? Can you
Yeah.
edit that out? Okay. You want to redo that? I'm sorry.
No, no worries. Just get going. But I had to load it myself as well, so people on the screen saw that one. So hole number 9, par 5, long 1, and so do we think we can reach this green in 2?
It looks like it's possible, especially for people who shoot minus 29. However, for the rest of us, I would definitely say the way I personally like to take is I like to bounce right where your first yellow square is there. Be very careful. Don't use full topspin, especially if you have a wind at your back, because you will end up in the rough and that will completely mess up your day. So I like to go with left curl, and if you're using a ball with spin, left spin as well to set you up easier for your approach. Your second shot should get you on the green, in my opinion. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, I do agree. Definitely with the way you said that don't use full topspin. That is the biggest mistake people can do with their drive, using like full topspin because you are afraid of the water. But you need only to use 2 to 3 bars of topspin depending on the wind that we do have. So, and of course, full left side spin, and then put the curl that you do have as well. The only thing that you do want is to reach over the water, like over like the, what can I say, like the hump. I say the hump, but people know what I mean. I hope so at least. So bounce it over there, and then you will have an open shot for the green. It's important to use a wood club with distance. I do find myself when I play this one on my Road to Glory account with a Guardian or with a Sniper, then you need to max overpower it. But here we do want to use a big dog, or we do want to use a Cataclysm to go onto the green and 2. And have in mind there with where the green is, you have a rough patch that you need to bounce over. So don't use too much topspin because you will roll down into the bunker onto the right or into the rough on the right. So I find myself good with using just 1 to 3 bars of topspin with my second shot and try to instead overpower my shot instead of using more topspin to not risk going into the bunker or into the rough. So my friends, this was all the 9 holes. And I'm happy to be able to go through and give you all a good way to see it. And it will be a tough tournament as always. We do pray for some good wind, of course, but with some tricky wind, it will be a more interesting tournament. As you can see here on the screen, it says starts the 16th of March. That's wrong. It starts the 12th of March, which is tomorrow, Monday, with the qualifier. And again, if you do want to get some help, you do have a question to get that you want to get answered, you can message me, you can message RJ, and we will be able to help you out. And again, before we end here, I say thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in the St. Patrick's Day tournament. But before I close this video, I would like you, RJ, to tell people how will you play this tournament? Will you be streaming it? And where can they watch?
I will definitely be streaming it. You can go to ItsRJTV, no apostrophes, no spaces, all one word, on YouTube. 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States is my stream time, unless something comes up. And obviously, I will be watching Golf Clash Tommy hopefully hit that magical minus 30 this time. Can you guys believe he hit minus 29 last time?
Yeah, just a bunch of luck. No,
No, no, you don't. No
we are
luck on that.
we are all going for the gold, and we will of course be here to help you. So again, good luck to you all, and I would say happy stroking, and good luck
Happy
to you as,
stroking.
yeah, good luck to you as well, RJ. So
Good luck.